Welcome, my name is Geraldine Hardy and I'm going to be the host for you today on Yachting International Radio. So this week I'm going to be talking about vulnerability because that's a concept that most of us have been disconnected from, or maybe never ever felt being safe to actually own. And I'm going to own this moment of vulnerability with you now. So I just published my book, Moments That Matter. This is pretty much a very raw and a real intake on how I have perceived my life and how I have observed my specific cycles, mistakes, decisions that I took, and also the repeating cycles and again the same mistakes that I have done, and knowing suddenly, okay, I need to stop. I actually need to unlayer this and unbecome that version. In my latest post on my Instagram, which is _Geraldine Hardy, so please follow me, I give a very raw and honest message out there that I was functioning like a high performer for most of my lifetime. Did not really show that much if I was suffering inside or what I was actually dealing with in the quiet corners, being alone. In the past 3 years, I was pretty alone. I had a few friends, but also my family, my friends did not really know what was going on within me. And I'm going to share with you a very raw take on when you get a diagnosis and you're like, okay, that's a warning. This is not just like, okay, you're sick, you got COVID or something. This is actually a warning now. So you've got this tennis ball of a tumor in your left breast. The biopsy, when I went there, I was supposed to go with a friend and she canceled on me to drive me to the clinic. So luckily I had another friend who took me there. But I walked inside that lab and I was lying there. And when I got that needle in my breast and this click, and I can still, this is something there, it's an emotional imprint still in there. And I noticed that this click made such a big difference in me because I know they're going to take tissue out and I don't know what's going to happen there. And luckily, it was a blessing in disguise. The tumor was benign. So I knew like, okay, that was a warning, but maybe a lighter warning. It's fine. God, what do you want me to do now? Well, you need to change. You need to, first of all, totally change. And it does not mean like, hey, you're just going to change superficially. You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to do more yoga. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to go running more often. No, it's actually a radical change because I realized like I was a yoga therapist at that time already for how many years. And I stopped teaching also for a while because I knew I cannot teach and share the teachings of yoga if I myself do not walk my talk. And that's for you spiritual teachers out there. If you still smoke pot, you take drugs, you get totally obliterated every weekend, or let's say you complain constantly and you believe that spiritual people need to be poor, maybe you revisit yourself and revisit whether you are able to share the teachings of yoga or any other spirituality that you teach. Because spirituality teaches us not to be poor, nor to be addicted to any substances or anything else. Sorry, that was a little intimate. But I knew for myself I couldn't continue teaching because I wasn't fine. I was overworked, almost burnout. I drank still a lot of alcohol. I had my occasional cigarettes with alcohol. And I was thinking, no, that's just not going to work. because I do believe in alignment. And if I'm going to walk my talk, I need to have that experience that I can actually share the teachings. So I realized you actually need to change your personality. You actually literally need to change from within. And I wondered, like, how am I going to be able to do this? You know, I'm starting a new job in pharmaceuticals in corporate, brand new job, highly stressful environment, walking on eggshells constantly. And yeah, how are you going to do this? And I thought, okay, you know what? You need to change your self-care routine. And that's why self-care became really like a mantra for me to understand, okay, what works for me. And so I tried different meditation techniques. And at that time, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I did his courses. It really helped me. So I encourage you, when you find this moment where this turning point, where things will radically change in your life, do not fall into despair. And I know we can all do that. I mean, when I came out of the clinic, I actually had these tears rolling down. I was like, yeah, I didn't like that at all, that needle in my breast. And I did not like the sound. I did not like the feeling. I did not like the whole 9 yards of this procedure. And no, I'm not going to get this operated out. I'm going to work on myself. And I did. And I stayed committed and devoted to myself. Because I thought myself, you know what? First of all, you're going to clean up your life. You're going to pretty much get rid of the gunk. Get rid of people who are energy drainers, who will not support your healing and will actually support more your old habits, meaning drinking, drugs, alcohol, whatever that is. Spending too much money, going out, not sleeping. So I was really drastic with that. I kind of like just cut my cords with many people. And then you're going to wake up early in the morning and get this pineal gland activated with the pineal gland meditation with Dr. Joe Dispenza. So at that time, that helped me a lot. Mantra meditation, because I had to work on my mind. And then trauma alchemy. So I'm trained as a quantum healer, so I can go into my subconscious mind and be able to neutralize triggers for trauma. So for instance, lying down at that doctor, getting that biopsy, just the sound and the click gave me exactly, triggered a trauma within me. So at that evening, I was able to go back into a deep meditation. No, I don't need ayahuasca for that, to go tripping in meditation. But I trained myself for doing that. And I practiced a lot. And no, I did not choose any psychedelics to go deeper, because I know my own nature as a Vata dosha within the philosophy of Ayurveda, that I need to be very careful with these kind of mind-altering drugs. So I said to myself, okay, obviously changed the diet, started training, and then because I needed to become a warrior and have a strong body, I actually practiced Kung Fu with the Shaolin Temple Europe. I did a self-mastery program with Shifu Shi Hangyi. And then I went to the retreats, and I invested all of my money in the training, in courses, and also longevity technology. And I'm currently in Bologna, Italy, getting these infusions done, because my immune system started running down after traveling within 10 days. I was in 1 month. I went from Thailand to Germany, Germany to France, France to Toronto, Toronto to Dubai, Dubai to Nice, to France, France to Italy now. So I knew, okay, now you need to step back. And longevity technology was also a big supporter on my healing process, because not only did I have this tumor, but I also had a sleeping autoimmune disorder called Epstein-Barr virus that actually many people have, and they don't know they have it. It's like a chronic fatigue syndrome. And then when you go into burnout, you will be totally disabled and be with high fever for at least 3 to 4 weeks in bed. And that came also out, this autoimmune disorder. So the longevity technology, the regenerative medicine that I'm a supporter of, and I have also part of the Alina protocol, my startup, helped me to clean up my body, to reinforce my immune system and support it, and regulate my nervous system. So there are tools, and when you find and you face, and that's what I'm specialized in coaching, specialized in coaching exactly in these kind of stressful wake-up calls, the rough awakenings. It's not only love and light, it can be rough, but it's for the better. And I know that when you say that to someone at that time and stage, you cannot say that to someone because they just really suffer. And I remember I knew, because I was very connected to divine and spirituality, that I knew there was for my better and it was time to change. I couldn't continue living and being that old version of myself. So the last 3 years has been a transformation period for me, that I'm slowly kind of really adopting the new version of me, which is very raw and real, and sometimes in some people's perspectives rude. I don't want to be rude, but just because I'm not people pleasing anymore and overgiving, I'm just real. What I'm trying to say to you is that when you find yourself in this rough awakening, there are more practitioners out there who can support your journey. But the only person who really can support yourself and stand up for yourself is you. And being willing to do these changes. But number 1 is get out of victimhood. Number 2 is be ready to let go of a lot of people. Number 3 is be disciplined. Be committed and devoted to your own healing. Number 4 is that your loved ones and maybe your best so-called friends in that time will not understand you. And they will not understand you because of their own lack of experience in that specific field and because of their own understanding of their own journey. So do not condemn them, don't judge them. Silently walk your walk. Do not, number 5, seek validation, external validation. No, just zip it. Walk your own walk, meaning get up early, do that meditation, go for that walk, have a pet. That is the most beautiful unconditional love that you can receive, especially when you are single and alone. And you will have really good friends around you. Like my best friends are like, who have been on this journey with me, is including my doctor, funny enough, but also my board of advisors of my company. I chose them to be part of my company because they have supported me in every single way in my healing journey. So a big thanks to Dr. Carter, Marielle, and Despo Pushiri. And be courageous. Be so courageous. And cry. It's part of your healing journey. Let that anger, the lower vibrational energies, the grief, the sadness out of your system. Because especially now to women there who have breast cancer or experienced breast cancer, that is your heart chakra. There's something that happened in your life that broke your heart and you had to protect it so much. For me, I know exactly when that happened. That happened when I thought I was pregnant and I spoke to my then boyfriend, and he got so upset and angry at me that he wanted me to abort if I were pregnant. But that showed me his real face, and it showed me in what position and relationship I was. but it was a traumatic experience that really triggered something so badly that I know exactly from that experience, this part got affected. And all of us will know where and from where we have been affected. And be brutally honest in your own healing journey and look at it. Look at it, it's so deeply and so real. Do not shy away to look at it. Face it. Face your fear. Go inside of the pain and release it. I know talking therapy, like the typical psychologists, I've done this so many times, it's not going to help. You need to go into your subconscious mind. You have to work with your subconscious mind and neutralize this trauma. And do not repeat yourself this story. So when I tell you about this story now, I don't have the emotional residue from it anymore. But I will not continue repeating it because this is what happened to me, the old version 2.0, not now. So be also very aware that every time when you repeat a story to your therapist and find yourself in victimhood, that your nervous system will not happen, whether it happened in the past or it happens again in the present moment. So this is my intake. This is a very vulnerable self-care on board. And let's see. So if you have any questions, please direct message me anytime. My Instagram is _Geraldine Hardy. And my book is out on Amazon. It's Moments That Matter, a journey of feeling, remembering, and unbecoming. We're also going to have coaching classes. We're going to have certificates and diplomas, which are already out on my website, in naturopathy and transpersonal spiritual psychology and clinical hypnotherapy. And we will also have, for any physicians, functional medicine doctors, and generally medical staff, we have also personalized infusions coming up with Dr. Carter. So watch that space. Namaha, namaste.
If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.